Oh, okay. Great. Okay, so I'm going to make analysis a course. So nice to have everyone here. We'll have our speaker join in now. We'll have our speaker joining now. Taiwo, please, can you make analysis a course? Okay. Thank you. I can do that now. Yeah, analysis a course. So that she can help to admit people in. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So, Annalise, please help me to admit people into the waiting room. So, good evening, everyone. So, we'll have our speaker join in now. So, before he joins us, I would like to read his profile. I hope we are all ready for this session. Oh. Yes, and I hope we're ready for this session. And I would really advise that everyone be at alert so that you can shoot your shot when the opportunity comes in. So don't be shy to shoot your shot though, because there will definitely be some opportunities during this session. So please be at alert. Okay, so we would be having our speaker. So I would be reading his profile so that when he joins us, he can just immediately start his session without wasting time, because you'd have another meeting by 5. So our speaker is Mr. Dayo Awolaja. He's an L&D professional and a career counselor, driven by the goal to upskill and develop young professionals by providing career advisory and support to ultimately bridge the unemployment gap and workplace learning deficiencies. With 3 years of combined working experience as an L&D professional and career coaching consultant, he has specialized skills in developing e-learning courses, delivering training programs that reinforce learning using blended learning methodology. In the last 2 years, he led the recruitment team at a human resources consulting firm to manage clients in the finance, e-learning and software development, retail, fashion and lifestyle, healthcare, branding and communication sector, hiring over 40 roles across different professional levels. As a career counselor, he has coached and mentored over 500 young professionals while providing career services such as CV review, cover letter, personal statement to over 1,100 students and job seekers in the last 30 months. With a conversation rate of 40% overall. He coordinated the project team of an e-learning company focused on upskilling students, fresh graduates, and entry-level professionals, and managed the learning management system for deployment. So we can see that he has really done a lot. And please, shoot your shot. So please, can we give our speaker a round of applause in the chat box? And he's here with us. Can we give our speaker a round of applause in the chat box? Oh, thank you. Please, let it be as interactive as possible. So, Mr. Dayo Awolaja, you can take the floor, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, Omolayo. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. I think I told you that that long introduction should be reduced as much as possible if you can. I saw that you read it from the beginning to the end. Also, I can also see Taiwo here. I think last year, I also spoke to a few pharmacy students, and she had invited me as well. So it's so very good. Maybe it's already becoming like a tradition for me to always speak to pharmacy students every year on CV writing. Maybe that's God's way of telling me that this is a constant gig. Maybe you guys will be paying #1 million soon. Anyways, thank you very much, everyone. So I'm going to just start my video. I hope that it will be very safe so that you guys can see the person talking to you. All right. Can you all see me?
Okay, what's it?
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yes, I can. Okay, yes, yes.
I would like to comment on that because your
Okay, so
idea
can we
has
tell Izu to
actually
put to mute
really have
his
a five
voice?
design and thinking incubation stages. I saw.
Okay, great. So I mean, if I ask questions and I need responses, you can just send it in the chat box so that I can get your response real time. So Omolayo, one of the things that I've also done when you contacted me is, although I have this particular pack that I use to train for CV each time I'm being called to train for CV. So it's nothing grandiose, right? And this is one of the things that I would like you to know, that writing a very compelling CV is not so difficult, not difficult at all. So it's pretty much, yes, well, we've had a bit of, how do I put it now? We had a bit of reformation in the recruitment system. So many hiring managers now want to look for, they are looking out for something. I mean, year on year, year in, year out, they are looking for something in your CV. So this changes with time, but the whole idea of the template and what should be written in it has not pretty much changed at all. So I'm just going to go over my slides. I'll share my screen, right? And then you can also, so Amala, you can just allow me share screen if you are the host. So
Oh,
I'll share my screen and I'll just run you through what a CV is, right? And how it should be created, how it should be written, all right? So that you can get more like a learning experience from this. And more importantly is what you can do with your CV after this training. So I mean, from last year as well, I'd promised about 2 or 3 people that I was going to write their CVs for them. But since during that period of time, I was very busy. So I always like that after the lesson, you are able to actually take real time lessons that can help you work on it almost immediately. So what I can do, or what my team can do, is then look at what you have written to tell you that, oh, if this works or if it doesn't work. So I'm supposed to have also Fayokumi here. Is someone who is currently, who we are working together right now. I'm not sure if he's here yet, but once he comes in, I'll let you know to write CVs, right? Now, so what is the purpose for writing your CV exactly? It could be for a job application. It could be for maybe a scholarship. It could be for academic opportunity. It could be also be for, say, maybe for a particular position. It might not be a job. It could be, say, maybe in your school. It might even be a political position. All right. These are the quite a number of reasons why people write their CVs. So I'm just going to go ahead to share my screen. Okay, so host disabled participant. So I still can't share my screen though. I'm a liar.
okay. So I'm trying to see what would help with that. Taiwo, please can you help me? Because I cannot do it on my end.
Okay, what do you need?
Please can you help me make Mr. Dayo a co-host so that I can share his screen?
Okay, all right. Hi, Dayo. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Hi, Taiwo. How are you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
The pleasure is ours. The pleasure is ours. Thank you very much. We look forward to an insightful session.
Okay, great. Me too. You can tell. All right, I can share my screen now. So I would thank you very much again. So this is it. So usually I always call this session like a career development coaching session, and not CV writing per se, because when you look at CV writing, right, it's a very small fragment of the big picture. So what the big picture is, what I like to see that the big picture is say your career, right? What you want to do long term. So for example, you're a pharmacy student and then some of you might graduate, right? thinking that also, you know what, I do not want to practice pharmacy anymore. While some of you, because of the rigorous stress that you have gone through school, because I mean, from Taiwo and some other pharmacy students that I know that have graduated, they tell me and they let me know that pharmacy is not beans and it's not really easy. As a matter of fact, I have a sister who has been looking to study pharmacy as well. And I mean, she's still struggling to get in. So I understand that the struggle is always quite much when you're in school. So if at all you want to practice after school, right? What are the things that you need to do? Who are you supposed to network with? What are the people you're supposed to be talking to, right? At what points would you say that you want to define your career as a pharmacist, right? Is it immediately after school, after that your housemanship, or because I know that there's like an internship that you do after school, right? Is it at that period or is it at that point? Would it be much later? So you can as well determine all that while you're still an undergraduate, all right? And so when you have that all in check, you know, transitioning into the job market will not be easy at all. It would not be difficult at all. So that's why I like to call it career development. All right. So moving on, right? We have so I like to tell people that, you know what, whether or not you succeed in your career, it's my business, and whether or not your friend, your colleague succeeds in their career, it is your business as well. So whenever anybody is facing, you must always make it a point of duty to always say, you know what, this is not good enough, you can try this way. And is that any lessons that you take from this session today, you should always also try to tell other people about it. All right. So just as you have seen here, I asked if it is true or false that people need a job that will pay their bills. And I must tell you, it is true. Some people need jobs to pay their bills. Some people need jobs to say fulfill them. So if you are a pharmacy student, you're in the healthcare sector, you want to be able to would impact the world or would you want to be able to
So, hello, sir, we cannot hear you.
hello, have I
Okay,
been on mute? Is it better now?
yes.
Well, could you hear me before?
Yes, yes, you just stopped for a while.
Okay, great. So I'm back here now. So I mean, whatever your reason might be for having to be in the healthcare sector, right? You define that. Of course, if it is for to be able to pay the bills, I just want to get a job to pay the bills and all that. Well, you define that as well. But usually, it is also always best that you do something that fulfills you. So it transcends having a CV to get a job or having a CV to be able to make an impression, right? It is you that gets to make that impression. Because guess what? The CV doesn't exactly get you the job. It is you that will get the job for yourself. All right. And so this session is just going to make you understand why CV is an important process that you must go through as well. Right. So moving ahead, let's just do this. So what is a CV, right? So I always like to say that the CV is an overview of a person's experience. Now, your experience might not necessarily be, say, you have worked somewhere before, right? So which is why I said that overview of a person's experience and other qualifications for a job opportunity. And just as I said before, it might not necessarily have to be a job opportunity, okay? It might not be a work experience, all right? It could be your qualification in school, all right? It could be your degree as a pharmacist. It could be your volunteer experience in school. And so you realize that, I mean, Taiwo had shared a CV with me when I took this session last year. And it was very impressive to know that while she was in school, she had done very, very impressive and very laudable stuff. She had she had that experience of leading people, of volunteering, even before she graduated. And so transitioning into any job market that way is going to be very easy. I mean, because so when I saw a CV, I could tell, and that's the thing, right? Your CV is a very emotional document. How that people can literally tell who you are from reading it, the way you wrote it, the way it was put together. Which is why I'm a CV writer, right? And I write CVs for people. But I always advise that you should be able to sit down real time to actually write your own CV by yourself. That's very important. So if you're unable to write your CV by yourself, then it begs the question of, do you really know who you are? Because that's the first process, self-awareness. So when you know who you are, you can definitely write a CV perfectly. So what you can do is, when you know who you are, you can then say, in 3 sentences, who is Dayo Awolaja? Excuse me, please. They can say, who is Dayo Awolaja? So Dayo Awolaja is ABC, all right? And how you know who you are is by speaking to people, all right? Who are your friends? Who are your colleagues? So for example, I can ask Omolayo. So Omolayo, what's your experience of me, right? So for example, if I were to ask Omolayo or ask Taiwo on this call now, that, so what's your experience of me? Who do you think I am? What do you think, or what do you perceive of me? They would have one or two things to say, right? So in 2 words, in 3 words, you ask your friends that way. And before you know, you're already developing your CV that way. That's the first step. Okay. Because you realize that before you're employed for any job opportunity, people will tell me about yourself. All right. Who is you? All right. Who is Eniola? Who is Omolayo? Who is Taiwo? Who is Dayo? Who is Choma? Right. And so it is very important that you know that first, because that is going to be important in writing the first section of the CV, which happens to be the professional summary. All right. And so we'll move ahead. Now, I have already mentioned this, that the purpose of a CV is to help make a good impression. You are trying to make a good impression, all right? And so how you do that is you have a tool to make that impression. It's a marketing tool, a tool to market you, all right? And so that tool happens to be your CV. Now, first impression is the one which lasts. And so you might, before you are able to get into an interview, or before, say, for example, your internship is supposed to be somewhere, somewhere really top notch, maybe Reddington Hospital or something. And then they're like, oh, so who's the next pharmacist that is coming? And who's the intern that we're hiring? And they say, oh, let's just see the interns that we have there that submitted their CVs. And they look through your CV, and they can see how much you have been invested in your field. So what it would have told them is that this person is a fit for our basic requirements. Yeah, right. And so when you graduate, many people, many recruiters, or many people in the other end of making the decision for you to come into the organization are usually always keen on your soft skills and maybe your technical skills, but you have not worked on any job before. So it's okay that they are very keen on your soft skills for a start. So request for an interview. So the purpose of a CV as well is to also request for an interview. When you submit a CV, you are telling the person that you're submitting it to that, you know what, I need your attention to be able to interview me, even if it is for an academic opportunity. So you're telling the person, oh, so I need you to be able to look at my CV and tell me that you want to admit me into your school. All right. Now, so for example, if you're applying for a role outside the country, so maybe your master's, it could even be in the country. So your big picture, just as I said, it is important that you are able to paint your big picture in your CV. You must be able to see the end from the beginning, which is why alongside this CV class, I always also try to teach career planning. Career planning is very important for every fresh graduate. And what you must know is that your career journey is shaped in three phases. What are the 3 phases? The first phase is your short-term goals, your short-term career goals, your mid-term career goals, and your long-term career goals. Right now, your short-term career goal might be, as an undergraduate, to graduate with a very, very good grade and gain, and have a good opportunity in a good organization as an intern. All right. That might be your short-term goal. Short-term goals are usually between 0 to 2 years. Mid-term goals are usually between 2 to 5 years. And long-term goals are like 5 years till you decide to define it, till maybe you're 40 or you're 50, right? Now, so this is the big picture, and you must know it. Even if you do not know what the 5 years above would look like, you must be able to have like a sketch in your head. This is very important, particularly when you're speaking to people who want to hire you, because they will be willing and they'll be wanting to know what this looks like. So you would have heard people say a resume, a CV. What is a resume? What is a CV? All right. So a resume is just a shorter version of your curriculum vitae, and a resume is much more tailored to one particular opportunity that you're applying for at that particular point in time. For example, you're trying to apply for the position of a, say, a junior pharmacist, all right? And so what they have told you to do is, oh, they said that the person must have these skills, must have A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, and F skills, all right? So what you want to do as much as possible is to then tailor your CV. Somebody's microphone unmuted. Can you also tell Abdulwasil to mute his microphone? Thank you. Okay, let me go ahead. Can you hear me, Omalayo? Hello, Omalayo, can you hear me? Hello? Or Chioma is close to. Chioma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. All right, great. So can you please tell Abdulwasil to mute himself or herself? All right, great. Thank you, Taiwo. So a resume is like a short version of your CV. All right. So while your CV might detail everything that you have done, say maybe in school, all the volunteer experience, how you volunteered for Axamanza, how you volunteered for Nokia, how you volunteered for General Hospital, how you volunteered for anywhere that you have volunteered, or how you volunteered in your association, in your association in school, or in your departments, or how you were HOC, or how you were. So all that experience put together, everything put together is pretty much what will be in your CV. All right, but your resume might not need all of those details all at once, right? It might just need very specific details, like the details that are particular to the job that you're applying for, or the opportunity that you're applying for. So this is the difference, clear-cut difference between a resume and a CV. It's not really different, right? Again, we've seen very much that the people of the Western world are the ones, like the US guys are the ones who like to use the word resume a lot. But yeah, in Nigeria, a CV would just cut it, all right? So moving ahead, right? We also have, all right, right there. So this is what your CV format should look like, right? There is always like a header section, all right? So we have different sections in a CV, and these are the sections. I hope I'm also able to touch what the important things are that you should mind in your CV are. But if I'm unable to touch it, I could just send like a document over, but I guess I should be able to. So there is the header section. The header section consists of, going to explain later, your name, your phone number, your email address, your LinkedIn profile, your residential address, right? Again, your contact address might just be, say, if you stay in, for example, Ketu in Lagos, or Apata in Ibadan. It could just be, say, Apata Ibadan, or maybe in anywhere. So maybe not necessarily going to the address or the streets. So you see some people say number 5 Obia Jimmy Street, off Mutiu Aregbeshola Close, off Staka Bridge. You don't need all that, right? You do not need all that. So all you just need to do is, so I stay in Ketu, Lagos, right? Particularly for security purposes. All right. So great. Moving on. Then we have the professional summary and the profile, which is very important. So you'd realize that back in the days, we used to have them write career objective. So your career objective is like everything you want to do in life, all packed into that. But well, there are different stages and different ways in which you can, in which you can write your career objective or your professional summary as such. Now I'm going to let you know that there is a summary that has to do with your CV, right? It's called resume objective or resume summary or CV summary, right? Now that particular summary details everything in your CV, summarizes everything in your CV and puts it at the top, right? You could also have like your profile, a profile of you yourself, kind of thing that you put on LinkedIn. Okay, that your profile of you, what you can do. All right, that can also be very much that can very much applicable for your cover letter. Right. So we also have skills and core competencies. Right. We have your work experience. All right. We have education, training and certification, interest and activities, research experience, if you may. Okay. So moving ahead, we'll go to the header section. I already explained this, right? So the header section should include your name. Now, these are the do's under this header section. I would also let you know what the do's, what the don'ts are, all right? So that you can be aware, all right? So we have name, we have your address, we have your email and your phone number, all right? So after this header section, I'll just open the chat box for a few questions before I move ahead. So we have the name. The name must be the first line of the curriculum. So again, you do not want to write that my name is, say, Dayo Awolaja CV or Dayo Awolaja resume on your CV. So they already know that it's a CV. However, if you want to save it, right, you can say Dayo Awolaja, say underscore. If I'm applying for the role of a junior pharmacist, underscore junior pharmacist CV or something, or Dayo Awolaja CV underscore junior pharmacist. So it's always important that you to put the role that you're applying for when you are saving your documents. All right. So because when ATS wants to rank it, it begins to pick out the words that are most suitable, required for the role. And so the job title is very important that you include it as well. However, in your CV, in the document itself, you want to have the first line as your name, Dayo Awolaja. That should come first. Then it should be bold enough. All right. Now, people have also said that in what order should I write my name? Should I write so for example, Omolayo Awolola? So do I put my first name first or should I put my last name first? You're allowed to be very flexible with that. There is no rule guiding that. Your first name could come first and your last name could come first. However, if it is your last name that is coming first, which happens to be your surname, you need to be able to let them know that that is your surname. So what you can do is put that your surname, right? Maybe put it in caps and bolding it, all right? While your first name can just be written in a proper format. All right. So it must be bold enough. The font size must be the largest in the body of your CV. So as much as possible, when you're writing your CV, you keep to fonts between 10 and 11. All right. And there are certain fonts that you must use and you must not use. Fonts like we can use Times New Roman, you can use Georgia, you can use Calibri, you can use quite a number of others that you can use as well. All right. Just make sure that you keep it to between font 10 and font 11. Font 11 is just perfect. 11 is 11. The font size 11 is perfect. All right. So, but the other section, which is your name, must be larger than font 11. Did you get that? Then your address. Your current address is more preferable. So people always say that. So, for example, if I want to work in Port Harcourt, I want to work in Abuja, but I'm currently in Lagos. But I actually have an address in Port Harcourt in which I can actually move from, all right, when I get the job, or which I can stay when I get the job. I am in Lagos now, but is it advisable to put that Abuja address in my CV? Yes, you can. If you know you'll be staying there, all right. If you're not going to be staying there, you do not have an apartment there, it's very much preferable that you just leave it like that. Leave it as Lagos. Let them know that you don't stay there, all right? But if you have someone you can stay with, or you can definitely put it there. All right. So I already said it. Let it be K2 Lagos. Let it be very simple as possible. Going forward, then we have email and phone number. All right. So we see many types of phone numbers in this world. I've seen a lot of babygirlforlife@gmail.com. I've seen Omolayo music for show at gmail.com. I've seen Dayo 8802. I mean, you can see I've seen Dami@yahoo.com, and such email addresses should be avoided as much as possible. If you have something like that, try to change it. All right. So you could just do same Dayo Awolaja is fine. Or if that's not acceptable by Gmail, you can say Dayo.Awolaja or Dayo_Awolaja or Dayo Awolaja and your maybe another initial, your middle name. All right. So this is the other section. I'll move ahead to, and this is a typical example. All right. Dayo Awolaja. All right. So yeah, I didn't like signify that this is my surname or this is my last name. All right. But with the way it is written, if I'm to be employed in Nigeria, anyone will know that Awolaja is my last name. Okay. So that's Dayo Awolaja, and you can see how simple it is. The number and the address. So Omlayo, if we can have a few questions rolling. So while they type their questions, I will move on, but I'll provide answers to those questions based on what I've said in the past. So if you have questions at all, kindly drop them in the chat box so that I do not have to answer everything when I'm through with the class. All right. So just drop them in the chat box and then I'll answer them as I move ahead. Okay. That sounds like a plan. Okay, great. Moving ahead, this is a typical, I do not even know why I wrote this CV at some point. I was trying to be very flexible with the way we write CVs, but this is just to explain, what a CV should, not what a CV should look like, but this is a very, I was just playing around when I developed this, but this was why I put this here. The skills, the work experience, and the awards, the qualification, just to let you know that no matter how young you are in the career field, no matter how undergraduate you are, you can have a CV. This is what this CV says. So this CV just talks about one Mr. Dayo Productive. So my name is Dayo Productive. So that's the nick, and so or the brand name. Now, so Dayo Productive also has a CV, and this is Dayo Productive CV, and this CV was developed when I was serving. All right. And so you can see work experience, admin officer, field officer. That admin officer and field officer was internship back in 300 level. By the time I write this CV into a proper CV and I show you in the slides that will be coming up next, you will now see and wonder how, really? So I can actually have all these details in my CV? Yes, you can. So I had awards. What are my awards? Brother of the Year. Well, I have a sister that was born in 1998, so that's why you can see that there, 1998 to present, most productive man. So that's just to make you guys smile and laugh. I mean, I don't know if you're smiling right now, but I'm hoping that you're smiling. All right, so there's the special skills, there's a qualification as well. There's PhD. Wow, can I do this one? I'm not sure I can do a PhD, but let's move ahead. Now we move to the objectives on the profile section. Are you enjoying this class? I hope so. Anyways, the profile section is highly recommended. You must have it. So I've seen people write very generic stuff. They just say, they say forward-thinking, motivational, self-motivated, leader. People call themselves a lot. Some people call themselves strategic. They call themselves a lot of names in their profile section. You really do not need that. All right. So go straight to the point. You are a graduate of or an undergraduate of pharmacy, looking to gain experience or looking to gain experience or looking to learn in the field of pharmacy as a pediatrician, as a this, as a that, different roles, field of work like that. So you just write there. Statement must be very clear. Look at the bad statement. I'm a graduate of business administration and I need a job. That's not good enough. This is weak. My objective is to attain an internship in secretarial administration. We don't even know you. So I'm young, I'm smart, I'm motivated. Well, that's because I am motivated. But again, you don't need all of these adjectives. You can just use one adjective. Say you're a forward-thinking person. Or you just go straight to the point to say that I'm a graduate of business administration. I'm seeking to build my career in human resources with focus on recruitment and consulting. This is very short as much as possible. But what you need to be able to do is target the company's perspective. What do I mean by that? So, for example, you are applying to Reddington Hospital or to an hospital that is very, pretty much, or a pharmacy that is pretty much known in town, say Med Plus, and you want to work on Med Plus. So you're looking at also what is Med Plus way of hiring, all right? What do they like their, how do I put it now? How do they like their candidates to be like or their employees to look like? Also, how you can know that is to be in connection or be in touch with someone who is already there. And so this helps you also write your objective. The objective is very important. It's very emotional. This is the part where you get to be very emotional with your employer. All right. So you need to be able to tell them as much as possible that you are good, and you need to be able to communicate that you can do whatever they want you to do, right? In a very emotional way, which that they would look at it and they'll be like, whoa, nice. Like Taiwo CV. First time I saw Taiwo CV, I liked it very much. Maybe Taiwo can show you guys a CV after this session. However, let me continue. So we also have the education sector. So in order, right? This is a bit outdated. Now, so in that order, what you can have is your career objective or your profile or anything you want to have up there. Then your skills and competencies. After your skills and competencies, then maybe your work experience. But if you're just graduating from school, like you know, you can have your profile summary, your skills and competencies, and your education, your academic qualification. All right, great. So your education has to be from the highest to the lowest. It has to be like in reverse chronological order, right? So Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, or I think you guys have like your own degree of your own degree. So maybe Bachelor in Pharmacy or Bachelor of Pharmacy, whichever one. Ty will advise me the right way much later. So we have, from that we move to secondary school details, which is very optional. You can choose not to include it, right? Must include years in school. So just put it as 2017 or 2013. You don't have to put from 2012 to 2017. Some people, they'll tell me that, Dayo, but I had an issue in 2015. I did not graduate my mate. So which year should I put there? So you can just put the year that you actually graduated. All right. So that's what it should look like. That's the format. I hope you're following. If you are following, then you are for me. If you're not following, you're for me too, but start following. So there's a work experience section as well. Your work experience right now, you do not have any work experience, maybe, right? So, but you have volunteer experience. You must, as a student, have a pharmacy, have a volunteer experience. It's very important. What are you doing not having a volunteer experience? I think it is very, very important. All right. So, if you do have like a volunteer experience, please include it here. All right, great. These slides will be shared after the class. Someone asked if these slides will be shared after the class. Well, I'll see if I can share it with Amalaya. Yes, if I can, I will. I should be able to. All right, great. I've not seen anybody's question coming anyways, but great to know that you're following. All right, so let's go ahead. So volunteer experience is very important. Have one, right? Have some sort of work experience or volunteer experience. Do something, contribute, join a club, you know, go for training, seminars, build yourself some way. Don't be laid back. All of these things will contribute to your growth, your career growth by the time you graduate. All right. So, for example, right now I do not even write CVs as much. I've written over 1,000 CVs in my life. Over 1,000. That's a lot. That's a lot. But right now I no longer write CVs. I've lost touch from writing CVs. All right. Right now I now write business plans, write business proposals. I do career coaching full time. Okay. I also create like courses. All right. Prepare training materials and all this stuff. But many of these things, I learned them when I was in school. I started training people when I was in school. I had a small group called Mentoring Platform. Usually have about 100 people come there every Wednesday, and I'll talk to them about career. I knew nothing then, but I never knew that I was building myself. The little that I knew, I was sharing it. So in any way you think that you can contribute, community involvement, make sure that you contribute. Do not leave yourself that, okay, let me just face pharmacy, let me keep reading, I'm chasing first class. At the end of the day, you get a 4.48. You are, I think it's 7 points anyway. At the end of the day, you get like a 6.65 or a 5.5, 5.96. And then I wonder, no, I didn't make a first class, this, that, and then you are sad and then you feel bad. While you could, as much as you have been developing, sorry about that, as much as you have been developing your skills as an academic person, you also could have been developing your professional skills. So it is very important to try to do that. And so this is the format it could go. Just tell us the day, the duration in which you were very active during the volunteer experience, and then put it there. Let us know what you did as well. If it's work experience as well, you can also put it there. All right, great. So that's the work experience section. Is very, very important. One of the things that you must also do when writing your work experiences, make them achievement based. What did you achieve as a volunteer? Right. Again, I'll use Taiwo's CV as an example. That CV looks amazing. In my years of writing CV, that one was distinct. Anyways, so try as much as possible to make it achievement based and achievement oriented. All right. So once you make it achievement oriented, you're good to go. Don't just write the things you did every day, or write how you achieved things every day. All right, we can go ahead. Okay, what's happening here? Then honors and activities. This is supposed to be interest and activities. So, but in case you want to have your honors, your badges, your awards, the many things that you have written there, let's scream one thing, that you are a leader. People want to know that you have held the position of leadership before. You don't have to tell them, but they want to see that you have held the position of leadership before. It must contain all academic and professional awards. Put it all there, put it out. Okay. It may also include your extracurricular awards that you got from, some of you belong to JCI, some of you belong to the Rotaract Club, some of you belong to many clubs like that. So include it as much as possible. It's quite important, right? Include a brief description, if not self-evident, from the title. All right. So if we cannot see in your career objective, or if we cannot see in if we cannot see in the title of what you do. So for example, if you're a public health volunteer, if we do not know that, if we do not know what public health means, all right, you want to put it in a brief description of what you did at the public health volunteer or public health intern. All right. Great. Do not include hobbies or activities not related to the job or your personal story. So I mean, you swim, you travel. Does your role require you to travel? Does your role require you to swim? If not, don't put it. Does your role require you to read very much? If there is a, people put reading, smiling, laughing. Smiling is my hobby. Imagine if I put smiling, as a hobby. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So imagine putting smiling as a hobby. So sorry, my colleague have been unable to join because there was a new link. So please allow him in. All right, so you move ahead. You can also include your leadership position, as I said. Any questions you have, please let me roll in. Your area of expertise and your fields of interest is as well very important. Now, this applies to fresh graduates trying to find their feet in a new environment. So for you, who are trying to find your feet, maybe even as an undergraduate. So you see all those small breaks that you always have in school, your 2 weeks breaks, your 3 weeks breaks, your 4 weeks break. Do something, freelance, help someone, do something, right? Don't just be laid back. The idea of waiting to you graduate to get something done is not fresh. Don't do it. All right. Don't. Now, the aim is to inform your recruiter how good you are in certain areas and what you're looking to learn, right? Do not include areas that you're alien to the job at. So don't, like areas that you do not know anything about. Try as much as possible to avoid it. Avoid it as much as possible, okay? But the areas that you know you are very good. So some people now, they say that they can, what's one field in pharmacy that I do not know about? Maybe, I don't know. So maybe one field that you're not really good at, or one particular course you're not really good at, you now put it there, that's proficiency, 100%. That's not fresh, all right? That's not fresh at all. Put only the things that you can do, and do not lie in your CV. Put them in bullet points and be specific. Moving on, we have additional sections. We have welcome file. So sorry, I thought you've been in the meeting all the way. There was a different link. I sincerely apologize for that. So you're welcome, but I'm sure you can still catch up. So additional sections is if you have professional certification or membership, you have publications, thesis, additional trainings, volunteer experience, as I've said before, right? Or community service. Try to include it. Language or computer skills. You have any of that? You know how to speak French, German, Dutch? Include it. Then continuing education. So for example, you are looking to study, you are looking to have your master's in public health or in pharmacy, right? So what you can do is to also include it and put it, say, ongoing or in view. All right, so people can also know that you are looking forward to something. So moving on, these are the action words that you should find yourself using when you are describing yourself. All right, so try as much as possible to avoid mundane words like, took recipes or deliver or what are the words now? They're not even coming to my head now. Ensured or all those mundane words. Try as much as possible to avoid them. Use active words. All right. Words like accomplished, achieved, administered, advised, advocated, analyzed, arbitrated, arranged, assembled. These words are sweet, aren't they? Yeah, use them when you're describing yourself, when you're writing your work experience, or when you're writing and this is very important for CV writers too, all right, for you file. So for example, coached. Imagine if I was in a coaching session with someone and I tell the person, oh, I coached this person, all right? Or I say earned, maybe I earned a badge or I earned an award for doing something. You write it there, all right? Communicated, all right? The Taiwo people that they always communicate, all right? Try as much as possible to write that there as well. Now moving on, these are the CV writing checklists that we have. Does it look good? Would an employer want to read it? Does it fit into a one-pager or 2 full pages? Do not exceed 1 page, please. You don't have any business writing 3 pages, all right? 2 full pages is fine, but you are an undergraduate, so you are a fresh graduate, you don't have any business writing 2 full pages or even 3 pages, all right? Just write 2 pages, half full, not just 1 page, right? Has it been checked for grammar and spelling, right? Make sure that you always do that. Are font, type, and size consistent and not too small? I already told you 11 points is the minimum. Okay, so yes, do not go below 11 points, right? I said 10 points earlier on, so do not go below 11, right? Because 10 might be too small, so do 11, all right? Is the layout well balanced with effective use of space? So this is style and formatting. So if you pick up maybe some of these resume writers are some of these resume builders online, this software that build resumes, try as much as possible that it is well spaced and well organized. If you're also writing it yourself, try as much as possible that it is well organized. You can check for almost any template online, and this will help you and guide you. I'll be through in 2 minutes. Broadly speaking, does the most relevant information occupy the most space? Now, if the most relevant information is your internship at XYZ, don't go and put it down where they will not see it. Put it up. It takes the average recruiter, the average manager, or the average employer 6 seconds, 6, right there, 6, to go through your CV, all right, to scan through it. Make those 6 seconds worth it. So worth it. Are dates in reverse chronological order? I already mentioned this earlier. They must be reversed. They must be in reverse chronological. So when you're writing your work experience, all right, it must be like, so from 2021, then 2020, then 2019, then 2018, all right, in that order, not the old ones up. It must not be chronological, it must be reverse chronological, all right? Have you checked for gaps in your history? So for example, 2012 to 2014, you were not doing anything. If there's something like that, find a way to shove it up, all right? Find a way to shove it up and include something. It could be a voluntary experience during that period of time, but try as much as possible to shove it. All right, moving on. I have just 1 more minute. Does your name stand out? I mentioned is your nationality. You know what? If you're only applying for jobs outside the country or you're applying for opportunities outside the country, that's when you should use this. If not, you don't need to put your nationality, all right? Moving on, these are more checklists that you can go through, all right? I've mentioned some of them. These are checklist on education, checklist on interest, checklist on referees, all for you. So oftentimes I hear people say, my CV is apt and complete. I included everything I want to include, and I was supposed to be interviewed for the role. And those people are, geez, how could they have not given me a feedback? At least I submitted my CV. Be kind enough to respond to the mail. So here's the gist. You see many recruiters. This is for recruiters and candidates as well. They would not get back to you when you apply for a role. How many of us have been in that shoes? Very, very bad. It's not good at all. It's not a very good experience. If anybody, if you apply for a role, demand a request for your feedback. Demand a feedback, right? What's the feedback? Let us know. Don't just leave me hanging, man. Is it communication skills that I'm poor at? Let me know, all right, so that I will not make the same mistake next time. Then moving on. This is an experience of somebody that had a counter with an employer and then they abused each other. So let me read it. And maybe I'll go through this some time. Maybe when you get the slide, you can go through it. But the aim was supposed to make you laugh, all right? In case it doesn't make you laugh, you can look at my face and smile. Optimization, optimize that CV right there. So this is the space for the cover letter. This is not a cover letter class. I hoped I'll be able to cover it, but now that I can't, seeing that I cannot, I'll just tell you what a cover letter means. It's a motivational letter, all right? It tells and explains and convinces your recruiter, your employer, whoever you are is hiring you to hire you. It's not so important. These days, what you can do is just to put a short note on why you're applying for the role and why you're good at it in the mail. When you do that, then you can attach your CV. However, if the job requires that you attach your cover letter, then make sure that you do. It's almost 5 p.m. and I'm out of here. So I hope that you take my advice and everything that I've said today because they are very important. Most importantly, what you must know is that you're on a journey, right? A journey. You're going to get to where you're going, but you must begin to take action from now. Network with people. Don't be shy to talk to people. Always today, talk to someone here. All right. So this is me. I'll talk to you. My name is Dayo Awolaja. I would like to know you more or better. What you can do, right, is follow me on LinkedIn, Dayo Awolaja, right? Just follow, click the follow button like right now or maybe after. And then send me a message, shoot me a message. Hi, Dayo, how are you doing? Please don't slide and say Mr. Dayo or Sir Dayo or just Dayo is fine, right? If you're on Instagram as well, you can also follow, say, Dayo Productive. Dayo Productive is the name. I'll be looking forward to your follows, your engagements, your questions, and your requests for guidance. I will always also be willing to connect you to a few professionals who can help you in your field. On that note, Omolayo, that's it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause in the comments in the chat box? Thank you so much. That was really powerful. So I'm aware that you have another engagement by 5. So we might not be able to take questions, right?
So I pushed my engagement by 5 to like further notice, so we can do it.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that. So please, if you have questions, you can send your questions in the chat box. You can unmute your mic to ask a question. And don't forget to follow Mr. Okay, you said you should not put Mr. Don't forget to follow Dayo on social media, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm actually following on Instagram. I'll go and follow on LinkedIn now. So if you have any question, this is really a power-packed session. And like I said, shoot your shot. So like you already gave us open floor to send in your questions, send in messages, send in, if you need guidance, send in message if you need guidance. So please take this opportunity and don't throw this very good opportunity away. So if you have any questions, please, you can send your questions in the chat box or you can unmute your mic to ask your question. Okay, somebody
I think we have someone raising their hands.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Annalise, you can go on. You can ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dayo. Dayo. I have two questions to ask. Can I go ahead?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so the first one is you are talking about that chat that you took a screenshot of, and I didn't get what you said. Did you say that we should demand for feedback from the company that we apply to?
Okay,
Um,
so yes, I heard your question. So if I get
okay.
you correctly, what you're asking is if you should actually request for a feedback on the interview or on the process of your job application, right? Or the
Yes,
status
sir.
of your job
Yes.
application, right? Great. Yes, you
Yeah.
can. So for example, if you have spoken to the contact person, like say 3 days before, say last week, say 3 working days ago, okay, after 3 days, just to remind them. So for example, you spoke to them on Monday. Today is a very good day to say, hi, I would like to know, or hello, or good day, or dear sir, or dear ma, I'd like to know what the status of the recruitment is. And I'd like to know what my chances are of actually getting the job. I just send an email, right? It doesn't alter anybody. So you should actually, this is if they do not give you a feedback, all right? If they do not give you feedback after 48 hours, please do ask them.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And then my second question is on the cover letters. What if the job application is via a Google form?
Okay.
What if you
If
have
it,
to apply like through a Google form?
oh, so if like they have a Google form for you to
To fill,
fill
yes,
up, right?
yes, yes.
It's pretty much the same process, all right? Or what's the question? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Okay, I can hear, but it's kind of okay. I think it's
Hello,
better now.
can anyone hear me?
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, my network is flipping. Via a Google form. Oh, how do you get feedback, right? And you do not have their email, right?
Yes, sir.
If you do not have them, if you do not have their email, I mean, there's no way you can control that, right? If the email was not provided, okay? So you just leave it open-ended and expect feedback. If it doesn't come, well, I mean, you just reach out for another opportunity, I suppose. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me check the chat.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So anyone with any other question?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this session. Sir, can you hear me? Oh, God.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. What's your name?
Okay, Musina Abdwasi.
All right.
Okay, sir. Currently, my school is on break. I'm going to follow pharmacy. But though currently I'm working in a pharmacy, a community pharmacy to be precise, because I didn't just want to stay home for the 2 months. Though it is unofficial, like I just went there to gain more knowledge. So I want to include these parts in my CV, but I really don't know how to go about it. Am I supposed to put I work as an intern, or I don't know, and I'm confused. So I would like you to answer that question, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Daya, we can't hear you.
Sorry about that. So you
Okay.
don't get, yeah, I got your question. Thank you for your question. So you do not get paid. You are not being paid. So you could as well just say that you're an intern. We could refer to you as an intern. So seek for counsel from maybe Omolayo or Taiwo on the best approach for that. But what I would think that you can do is definitely something that you can include in your CV. So what you want to ask them is, should this be like in my volunteer experience, or should I actually include it as a professional experience? So you can actually include it as a professional experience, right? So instead of work experience, do professional experience, right? So what you currently do now, just include community pharmacists, or so community, you can do community pharmacist, right? Or community pharmacy, and in brackets you can put internship. All right, so that is something that you can do, but you most definitely should include that. That's a good one. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay.
If I didn't, let me know. All right.
Okay, somebody asked in the chat box, in the chat room, if
Are you good?
hello?
I can hear you, Malaya.
Oh, okay. Somebody asked if they can get a sheet summary for cover letters and resume.
The person says sheet summary. Is he referring to, do they mean like it's sample or a template?
I'm guessing so.
Okay, so as regards that, Amala, you send me a message with regards to that. I would see what I can put together like a template for you guys, and I have a template I can share with you guys. So I'll share it with Amalayo, and she'll share it across board. All right.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Then somebody also said, what action and any action to take when you don't receive the desired response you want from your target company, or if they want to sideline you or something. So any action to take. I think you already answered that question.
Well, yes, let me just say one more thing. So actions, so here's the gist, right? No company had the capacity to sideline you in your career. None. All right, unless of course you sideline yourself. If they do not reach out to you, it probably means that maybe they didn't want to go ahead with the recruitment anymore, or maybe they needed, someone with much more expertise, or someone with not so much. All right, so in this case, right, apart from sending a message, talk to yourself that you're going to get another opportunity, and you will. And so that's the next thing you can do if you do not get any other response. What you can also do is to talk to somebody who you might know in there. So if you have a contact person there, that's why I told you that it is very, very important that you network with people. Always talk to people. Have contact persons everywhere that you want to work. Now, right now, if you know places that you need to work, always make sure that even before you need that opportunity, network with someone in there. Right? LinkedIn makes this very, very possible. I don't know how much the healthcare sector is leveraging LinkedIn, but I know that the tech industry is very big on it, on LinkedIn. So try as much as possible to network. Networking is not so hard, it's not so difficult. Come on. All right, it's not so difficult. Just talk to the next person. Tell them. I mean, you should be networking in the chat box. I do not know. Unless of course you guys know each other. I mean, if you do know each other, that's fine. But on webinars like this, try as much as possible to talk to people. My name is blah 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 blah, and I do this, I do that. I school here, I school there, and big people are not that open. Well, you can talk to small people. Start with small people. Must you go for big people? All right, start with small people and you'll be good. All right, yeah, great. Next question, please, so I can move.
Okay, any other question? Someone said networking is hard. You can start from Mr. Dayo now. You start small.
I heard somebody said big people are not that open.
Now, so you can network. I don't think so. I think communication is very important in networking. Would have a session on networking so that we can really teach you how to network. Networking is not something that is hard. Communication is very important, and how to sell yourself. Exactly. Okay, any other questions so that we can call it a day?
So I think Odukwe Chidima is
Somebody
raising
with
her hand.
Chidma, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good evening from this side. Thank you, sir, for this section. Learned a lot. Sir, please, the first thing you said when you started teaching, I didn't get it. I don't know if it's something about regimen or the very first thing in your CV, like a summary or something. And then the second question is, you showed the slide of someone that applied for a job. I didn't really get the slide, like the whole info there. Thank you very much. So if you could show it again. Thank you.
All right, I got that. I think I mentioned resume. Was it the word resume or profile summary or professional summary? All right. Someone that applied for a job, I do not think that I shared anything like that. What I was going to share was what I also shared was I do not know that I thought I'd put a sample CV in. I should be able to show you a sample CV. Give me a second. But this is just for jokes. This is for the header section that I showed. Amalaya, can you hear me? Hello, Amalaya. Hello, can you hear me, Chidima?
I can hear you very well, sir.
Okay, great. So is this what you're talking about? Did I answer your question?
Not the first one. I've seen it. The
This
other
one?
one. No, the one you before this one. I've seen it. The one that had the WhatsApp column and something.
Okay, so this was like a conversation gone bad between a candidate and an employer. All right, this was a conversation. So it's not an email. For a professional summary, I already explained what a professional summary is. And when you share this document with you, you could go over it and look through it. All right. So yeah. Next question, Adini Yinde, please go ahead. Yes, Adini, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you very much for this amazing session. But my question is not directly relating to the topic of today's conversation, but I would like you to please respond to this. And the question is, can you please have had so many people talk about LinkedIn optimization? So can you please can you please explain or tell us how we can go about it and how it relates to our CV, the significance and things we should know about optimizing our CV? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Abdul Wahab, for that question. So LinkedIn optimization is another way of building your CV. No. Your LinkedIn profile is your online CV. I like to see it that way. All right. So you can mute yourself right now, Abdul Wahab. So it's another way to build your CV online. So apart from the CV, the document itself. Apart from the document itself, what you can do is what people mean when they say optimize your LinkedIn is to include the information that are important, the important information in your career, in your professional journey or your professional career on LinkedIn. So what they mean by that is including, the keywords that are important to your field. All right, there are certain keywords that are very important to your field. There are ways in which the headline should be written. There are ways in which, if you check up my LinkedIn profile, it is quite optimized. You look at it. And so LinkedIn constantly links me up with people that I am looking out to know. All right. That's what that is. All of the section on LinkedIn. and then includes the requisite skill. So what you can do is to look at people who are like you. You can search for a general term, pharmacy, or a pharmacist, or junior pharmacist, community pharmacist. Check up on LinkedIn. When you find their profile, I think I did. Amalaya, are you there?
Hello, sir.
Hello, Amalaya. Am I alone here?
I'll be taking over the moderation.
Oh, you can hear me.
here.
Who's
Can you
speaking?
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. I'll be standing in for from
What's your name?
Annalise.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
So do we have any more questions? Are we good to go?
Any more questions?
Okay, thank you, Annalise. So in the absence of any other question, I think we can call it a day. And don't forget to follow on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Now you're saying connect, networking is hard. You can start from here. Start networking. Thank you so much.
So Omalayo, guess what? Just what you said right now. Let me just touch on this. So there's this person on here as well. Her name is Somto Izema, right? I mean, so she sent me an email. She sent me a message on LinkedIn just right now, and then she asked me to help her look at okay, I think she's the one sending the message. I think she asked me to help her look at her LinkedIn if it's well optimized and all that. And I'm already looking at her, and I think that Somto is, I think you guys can model Somto. I mean, check up her profile as well. I think it's amazing. I'll give her feedback. That is how to network.
See, exactly. Thank you so much for that. So thank you, Somto. Somto, well done for taking that good step. Okay, thank you so much. So we can call it a day. The meeting was recorded, so we'll send the link in case anybody missed the session. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Mr. Dayo. I'm also definitely going to connect on LinkedIn now. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, bye. Yeah, cheers.
Okay, Chidima, if you have issues with your LinkedIn, you can actually send a message on Instagram. You can connect with him on Instagram too. Bye, everyone.